what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LilBigMan gaming review. This time for, let me get a little bit closer. For, as you guessed, Moon Knight Season 1, Episode 4, called The Tomb. This was a very good episode for so many reasons, and I'm going to get into those reasons in a minute, but you know how I like to do. I like to give you guys a synopsis first, the setup for what to expect from this episode. Then I'm going to get into the things I like and then the usual. So, it says Mark and Steven trek I think it says the Sawa. I might be saying that wrong, but the Sawa Desert with Layla to find Amit's tomb. But the threats ahead look to protect the goddess' resting place. Now I think it's another version that says Mark and Steven must find balance as supernatural threats ahead looks to stop them. So take that what you will. It's two different synopses, but basically the same thing. So now, with that out the way, this episode, one of the things I really liked about this episode, that it had heavy Indiana Jones vibe, heavy because it talked a lot about archaeology, being an archaeologist. I can't say it. Archaeologist. That's basically what Indiana Jones is. It gave me that feel. It also gave me the feel of the Mummy. I almost forgot while I was saying that. I was trying to remember what was the other thing I was going to say. But it was very, I have to say, like, when it comes to the balance of the feel of Indiana Jones versus the Mummy, I would say it was a lot like the Mummy. It had the Mummy feel, but then it had a little bit of Indiana Jones sprinkle in there. But it was a lot that it gave you. When you watch this episode, you will see what I mean. It gives you heavy Mummy vibes, the Mummy. And I never seen the old school ones, so I just mean like the Brandon Fraser ones, the first two anyway. I didn't really like the third one. The third one with Jet Li. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It didn't feel like the first two. The first two was perfect. Like perfect 10s all the way around for the first two. I love the first two ones. But for some reason, I don't know. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about the money. So basically this episode picks up right where the last one left off, with Layla and Steven stuck in the desert after being stripped of the power from once again, I can't remember the god that gave him the moon. Like, I'm gonna just call it that because I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, the god that gives him the Moon Knight powers. Layla is basically having to deal with some threats, waiting for Steven to wake up, and thus they form it. And once he does, they formulate a plan. Now there is a little balancing thing with Steven and Mark, which was another good aspect of the episode, because we got to see two sides of Mark fight each other, because one side realized the other is falling in love with the other's wife, and it was a funny scene when he's arguing, when Mark is arguing with Steven. He's like you're gonna need me because you're gonna need my expertise and backup. He said, no, I got it, muscle memory and all that. He said, I'm pretty sure it don't work that way, but he was like, I don't need you. I got all the backup I need. I got Layla. And Mark looks at him. He's like, you're in love with my wife. And then I was trying to remember. He said, you're in love with my wife, and he said he gave him some vague threats about what he would do if he were to do something with Layla. There's another cool moment like that too, where there's a repercussion for a certain thing that happens, but I won't spoil that. But that scene was like one of the cool scenes to me, watching them argue back and forth over Layla. Um, there are some mysteries that's revealed about Layla's past with her father and who might be responsible for his death. Um, Secrets are revealed too. I would like to point that out too. That secrets are revealed. The one thing I never mentioned when doing these reviews for these Disney Plus shows is that, and you probably heard it. A lot of YouTubers say this, but it didn't really. I had seen it, but I never really clicked with it until I watched this episode. It really is like watching, this is like a cinematic movie. Like you could tell this does exist in the cinematic universe because it has the same production value, the same everything, same tone and structure. Like it actually does feel like you're watching an episodic at that, but you're watching a movie nonetheless because it has that movie quality feel, has that movie quality stars. But yeah, this episode was pretty good in terms of tone and storytelling. One of my favorite parts of it, and it was cliche. It's cliche, but the way they handled it make you go, it was cliche, but you know what? You guys handled it so well, I let it slide. It was good. And what I mean is, they at a specific point in this episode, they do a beautiful mind slash girl interrupted um, um, type story where it was just like they try to, or what was cliche about it, they try to make you think that everything was one thing. Like it was just everything was one thing because the person was basically psychotic and everything he saw in his surroundings made up the story. He just fabricated everything. You will see what I mean because I know it's a beautiful little twist that they try to do, and I'm hip, so I'm like, nah, I don't think this is what it really is. But I enjoy how they did it, how they try to show you how certain people was basically just this and that. Certain people really wasn't what you thought they was. It was like, that's cool. They tried to beautiful mind you slash girl interrupted you. Or, as I like to call it, Sam interrupted for those who are fans of Supernatural. You'll remember that episode, Sam interrupted. But, basically it's all a pun. Sam interrupted is a pun on girl interrupted. But yeah, I like how we went from the mummy. That was one of the great things they did in this episode was that they went from the mummy feel, the mummy slash Indiana Jones feel, to a whole left field. I went to my right, left field. Take on it. Like the tone and everything went from the mummy, Indiana Jones, going into the tomb, discovering stuff, to all of a sudden now a snap of the fingers, it went from that to, like I said, girl interrupted in a beautiful mind. And I was just like, I'm like, wow, that transition and the way how you did it was perfect. So I'm trying to remember what's other things. Horror played a big role in this episode. He's the part, the reason why certain things get revealed. We see an unexpected connection forming. Yeah, we just basically we also get to see another hint to the bigger overarching fact of the gods in this episode. All in all, with all that being said, I would give this episode, The Tomb, a perfect 10 out of 10 because I actually had nothing. There was nothing wrong. At least in my opinion, I found nothing wrong with this episode. It was, for me, it was good from beginning to end, and it was everything. It was just so well laid, so perfect that I had to give it a 10 out of 10. Giving it a 10 out of 10 big ups, which is a perfect. You know, it's a perfect episode. It's a good episode. I recommend that if you don't got Disney Plus, go get Disney Plus so you can see this episode or find other ways. But yeah, go get Disney Plus because this is an episode worth watching. And actually, because of that, it makes me want to go watch the catch up on some other stuff that I've been missing, which I am going to do after I get done with this and give you some more gameplay. With that being said, if you enjoy this review, then you hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my movie/TV show reviews. And if you enjoy this review video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all those great things, because your feedback helps me upgrade this whole shebang so you guys can enjoy the content even more. And speaking of content, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But got gameplay for you guys. And yeah, some more reviews. I think Superman and Lois came back this week. I'm pretty sure Superman and Lois came back this week. And The Flash. So, with that being said, peace out everybody. See you in the next video.